Welcome into Rob Ryan Shannick's Pop Culture, and today we're discussing the Billboard Top 40 of 1988, and I've got my panel, as usual, with me. First, we got Heather. How are you, Heather?
Doing great. How are you?
Doing good. Then we have Stark of Iron himself, Mr. Tony Stark. How are you? Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Everything okay there?
Just things happening in the lab, hanging out with you guys. I was closing in on my stuff.
Be careful of that reactor.
Yeah.
And then we have Miss Agent Pepsi One. How are you today?
Hey. Hello, everyone. I'm doing well.
Cool. All right. So I think this is going to be a fun, good year. I know back in 1988, I really was into music and I really liked a lot of these songs. I listened to radio religiously during that time and am very familiar with a lot of these songs. Even though the names sometimes escaped me, I knew the tunes. So good stuff. But let me go ahead and bring on our little PowerPoint slide here. And we'll go through the once again, we go through 10 at a time. We count them down from 40 to 31, 30 to 21, 20 to 11, and then the top 10. And right before the top 10, we always go over the other hits from 1988 that you may not know that we may like. All right. So here we go. From 40 to 31, from the Dirty Dancing soundtrack, She's Like the Wind by Patrick Swayze. Yes, the actor can sing. Well, at least a little bit. And we'll hear what everybody else thinks of this one in a minute.
Oh, God.
Agent Pepsi's theme song tonight, Red Red Wine by UB40.
Red wine.
Make Me Lose Control by Eric Carmen, who has actually 2 hits on here. Funny enough, this is also another hit song that he wrote, was on another top 40, Almost Paradise. So don't worry, be happy about Bobby McFerrin. We'll talk about the video because I've got a picture up here. The Way You Make Me Feel by Michael Jackson off his Bad album. Hazy Shade of Winter by the Bangles, which is an awesome remake.
Amazing.
Aerosmith on their comeback with Angel. Whitney Houston still rocking the charts with Where Do Broken Hearts Go? Debbie Gibson, another hit song by Debbie, who was very popular during this time with Foolish Beat. And we round out this 10 with Richard Marx and his phenomenal album that came out this year, Endless Summer Nights. Anyway, Pepsi, I know you're dying to talk about these. Tell me what you like about these. Is there one that stands out? Tell me your thoughts about these 10.
You know what? I mean, the best song on here, the best song of these top 100. I am sorry, it is the Bangles. A Hazy Shade of Winter. That it is better. It is better than Simon and Garfunkel's original. It is, in fact, I think it is the best song the Bangles did.
Ooh.
It is absolutely, it is stunning. I mean, if I were to have, quote unquote, this is for Heather, if I had a mixtape, and I'm actually into tapes. This 3-motor tape decks, but this would be on that mixtape for sure. It would be on. I think the A side of the mixtape is probably one of the best songs of the decade.
Yeah.
This version it is so amazing. Patrick Swayze. I mean, say what you will about this man. I mean, he is super cute. He actually was a really good actor, but he can't sing. He simply can't sing. Hey, it's okay. No matter what, he sings better than I do. Red Red Wine, terrible. Although I am a little,
Really?
I'm a little loaded right now. I'm a little loaded right now.
Oh man, her singing song. No,
Look at that.
no,
Like it's
no.
quiet. It will disappear when I take over. Wait, Bobby Farron. I don't. That name sounds familiar. I just can't place this.
You're lucky.
Well, I would
So
whistle it, but
annoying.
I'm gonna get a strike from YouTube. It's
Okay.
I'll whistle it backstage when we're previewing. But if I
God.
did, it's don't worry, be happy.
It's super
Oh,
You don't make me. I'll do it. I will do it. I will do it.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
listen to
I know.
do it, Jody, because I
Now
want
I
to get
remember it.
up.
Terrible.
Wow.
I made on Doomcock's channel. I made Harvey sing this when he was stoned. It was
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah. Harvey did it.
Whoa, hold it.
Yeah.
I can whistle it, but I just don't want to get kicked off YouTube for that.
Hey, Angel is amazing from Aerosmith. Although I'm not, I will tell you, I'm not an Aerosmith fan, but this one is good. I do like Debbie Gibson, but this is not one of her best. And then there was that song by Richard Marx.
Yeah, Richard.
Oh, wow.
The Endless, what is that? The Endless Communist Manifesto? No, that's not it. Endless Summer Night. Hey, that one is pretty good, actually. And of course, you have Love Bites by one of my favorite. Oh, I'm sorry, that's for the next one.
That's in the next round.
Next round.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it for me. That's it for me there. But this is not bad. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the late 80s. But this is not bad. This one, these 10 are not bad.
The late 80s, man, are the time.
Oh,
This is. I do agree. Hazy Shade of Winter is, I think, the best of this group, and it is way better than the Simon and Garfunkel version. What I liked about it is they made it so much heavier and hard hitting, just like a hard rock song. Rick Rubin is the producer, and he produces a lot of heavy metal albums in addition to rap. So I think he helped kind of give it that harder edge. That song was from the movie Less Than Zero. It never appeared on any of the Bangles studio albums. They released it later on a Greatest Hits. But I don't know if you guys ever saw that movie, but it's really dark. And I rented the VHS when I was a teenager thinking, oh, there's a bunch of cute guys in it, like Robert Downey Jr. is young and Andrew
actually.
And oh my God, I watched it and he's like a drug addict and he's like pimping himself out, like
he's playing himself.
And
it
was just like, holy crap, what am I watching? Because I'm expecting Bret Pat kind of St. Elmo's Fire type stuff. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is awful. But anyway, the song is awesome. Oddly enough, too, I like Red Red Wine. It's a cover of a Neil Diamond song, which, to have two covers better than the originals and right at that same time frame is odd because usually covers just are kind of mediocre. So I'm on board the Red Red Wine thing. And Neil Diamond, when he heard it, he liked it better than his version. And he ended up, after that, singing it live with that more reggae type sound instead of the original arrangement that he had. So
interesting.
Yeah, I like that. Other songs on here. Oh, you know what? The sad thing here is 41 is Bad Medicine by Bon Jovi. It just missed it, and that is just fire.
Yes.
One of his best and a great follow-up. That album came out right after Slippery When Wet. Quick follow-up, a little off topic, but that one's really great. So She's Like the Wind. Yeah, Patrick Swayze, he's cute. Dirty Dancing was just so huge. He was a huge star. So it didn't matter that he couldn't sing. People were like, oh, Patrick Swayze.
I just wanted to dance with him. I'm sorry.
So anything he did at that time was pretty much gonna be gold because, chicks were just crazy about him. Bobby McFerrin just way too overplayed. That's irritating. The Way You Make Me Feel to me is actually like off the Bad album. That's kind of the best song. I didn't like the Bad album generally, but I think that's kind of my favorite. Richard Marx, phenomenal. That Endless Summer Nights when you're a teenager, it's like that perfect song for that. Angel and Aerosmith. I like their older stuff. I was not into this era of Aerosmith, even though
Mhm.
so that's it for me.
Tony, thoughts on the East End?
Well,
Well,
half a bottle and you're in trouble. No theme song, you make it double. Stop thinking. Keep drinking. Okay.
Cheers.
These songs are pretty good. I had to poke. I'm gonna poke an Agent Pepsi one. I'm gonna make fun of her for this all night. I hope you're ready.
Yep.
hey, that's okay. Look, I deal with germ reactors at work every single day, and you are nothing in comparison to a ninth grader. They were making fun of my dress the other day, so
Oh. No, I
Uh-oh.
wouldn't make fun of your dress, but
I was told, but not by these ninth graders. I was told, "Hey, Miss Bell, are those the only two dresses you have? The ones you always wear?" And
right.
you just have to let it go. And
I thought it's the German teacher wore lederhosen.
yeah, okay.
It will das Dick Oktoberfest.
But look, I get made fun of all day long by these ninth graders, so it'll be okay.
It'll be okay. Okay, good.
Yeah,
'Cause,
West.
I'll have you
sorry,
know that I have the general maturity level of a sixth grader, so you're swinging ahead of the curve. But
Wes Cagle was correcting me. He pointed out "Dirty Diana" is the best song on Michael Jackson's "Bad," which I agree with. I forgot that was on there, so it's on this top list, 100 list somewhere else.
I'm just kind of irked still. The biggest general thought I have about this particular list is that Kokomo was so close. So
yeah,
close.
that's close.
Was.
I
I'm
never
gonna get
liked
all
Uh,
these
Kokomo.
songs out, and
but,
if you missed it.
It missed by 2.
Yeah.
I'd say the ones out of here, "Don't Worry, Be Happy." I mean, that's a song that is so easily parodied. I mean, I just came up with that lyric off the cuff. It's one of those songs that I go to. I like songs that I can easily parody. And as we get into the late 80s, where the song structure is a little bit more complex and the lyrical structure is a lot more simple. Those are the kind of songs I like to parody. So yeah, Red Wine is obviously a radio saturated mess, as is The Way You Make Me Feel. That was on the radios all the time. But yeah, those are the ones that stick out
And
to me.
For me, so first off, yeah, Patrick Swayze, She's Like the Wind. He tried to get it on a Rob Lowe movie, and the producers didn't like it. And because he was in Dirty Dancing, and because he was already had star power at that time, they let him do that. It was similar to Eddie Murphy doing Party all the time. I don't really think it's that great a song. It was on all the time. Love Red Wine. I love the fact that they made it a reggae song.
Yeah.
And then they even released it with a little bit of rap reggae in it as well, which I thought was great. Make Me Lose Control is an okay song. It's not Eric Cartman's best written song. I think Almost Paradise is probably the best song written by him, but he's a writer and singer as well. I think he's got another song in the top 40 that we'll talk about. Don't Worry, Be Happy is just kind of a fun-go-lucky song. I like the video more than the song because Robin Williams, I miss him, and he's just hilarious in that video with all the different costumes and stuff. I would check out that video. It's pretty funny to watch. But the song was played all the time. The Way You Make Me Feel, I agree. It and Dirty Diana are probably the two standout songs on Bad. I really didn't think Bad was that great a song. These two are probably the better ones. Hazy Shade of Winter by far is the best song of these top 10. I agree with you guys there. But Agent Pepsi one, it's not the Bengals' best. For me, that's Eternal Flame.
Yeah,
Eternal
okay.
Favorite
Okay,
thing.
I can see that. I can see that.
So Aerosmith is interesting coming back after a little bit of a hiatus. I like their 70s stuff a little bit better, but it was interesting that Run DMC puts out Walk This Way and shows them in a video, and Aerosmith all of a sudden gains popularity because their song was turned into a rap song and it gained popularity. And so they came out and did this. And then there's controversy with them in the early 90s where you have like 3 or 4 songs that sound almost exactly alike musically. to where you're sitting there going, did they just rework the words to the same song? Uh, so, you know, Smith, I think they're okay. I like their 70s stuff a lot better than their 80s, 90s, and early aughts stuff. But I do think Angel's a pretty good song. Where Do Broken Hearts Go was way overplayed back in the day. Honestly, for me, it was Flip the Radio Station song because it just dragged on. But it was one of those ones that girls liked, and it's the prom, the junior.
It is like a prom song
dance,
or a slow dance at the high school dance.
Yes.
Ugh.
Yeah,
God.
Foolish Feet that I don't know very well, but I really like this Richard Marx album was amazing.
Yes.
I had it, and it's just phenomenal. He has such a good voice. And I wish that his follow up and his other albums were as good as this one, because this one was really well written. And I think part of his writing in this album was because his then girlfriend, I think she became his wife at some point, was working in Africa, and they were away from each other for like 6 months. And he was really lonely and really, wished that he could see her. And that's where a lot of these songs off this album came from, because he poured his heart out into the emotions he was feeling because he couldn't see her, So
Yeah,
thought that
he
was
has
good.
some beautiful songs, and he's got a really good voice. Listening to those again, it was better than I remembered it. Very good.
Oh yeah.
Wes Cagle seems to like that late 90s alternative with the Alien Ant Farm cover of Smooth Criminal.
Oh, that is fire, man. I love the Alien Ant Farm
Hey, you know what? I'm going to go out on a limb and say I think it's better than
I do too.
Michael Jackson.
I do too.
I
That thing was fire, man. I love that cover. Good
I
stuff.
liked how they added more guitar and a little bit more to it.
Yeah.
That song needed a little bit more kick from Michael, and you didn't get it. And I'm just like,
yeah, because they did it with the heavy crunch guitar instead
It was
of
very
the
crunchy.
bass
Yeah.
and the
That
syncopated
low
so
C
awesome.
crunch.
Yeah.
Like,
The tuned down guitar.
Yeah.
It's really good. Love it.
yeah. So I agree with you, Wes Cagle. I'm right there with you. Smooth Criminal I think was on Bad as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we're getting into our next set of 10. Unless you guys had any more on that one, I think.
I do have something to say about Hazy Shade of Winter. I don't know if you know this. The studio recording of that, they hired a studio musician, and I can't remember who it is. I know this gentleman played for Billy Idol back in the early 80s, but he's the one that's playing lead guitar on that.
Oh, really? Huh.
Yeah, it wasn't the Bangles. They hired this person specifically because of his background.
Sweet.
So now I know on stage when they played it in their shows, it's obviously them, but in the studio it wasn't. And I also want to say I agree with Heather about the Bad album. It's not really that bad, unquote. But what came before it was Thriller, and that was just such a enormous hit. It was just it was good, with maybe the exception of Thriller. It was good, the entire album. And it's how do you follow that? I mean, Billie Jean, for example, is one of my favorite songs ever.
Oh, I agree 100%. That's my favorite Michael Jackson song.
Follow that. I mean, how do you follow that? And I
several
think
bands had that issue, like the Eagles. It took them another 3 years before they could get to the long run, and they had a hard time figuring out what they were going to put on the album because Hotel California was so big.
Exactly. Exactly.
So Michael Jackson probably part of the same problem there. So,
well, I think reading that they said he had like 60 potential songs for that album, and it's written. And so when he got together with Quincy Jones, when they went in to actually start, doing the formal recordings, they picked like 10. But yeah, he had written a ton, but it's tough to top something, like Thriller. It just
if you're going to look at albums ever, that was one of the top albums if you think about it.
Yeah.
I'm not a Michael Jackson fan, but I did enjoy that one. So
Yeah, and I think The Way You Make Me Feel is a good song. It's one of the best on there. I mean, it's a real pretty one, and I think it's very signature Michael Jackson. I mean, with his
Yeah,
dance.
just a upbeat, happy song.
Yeah.
Good tempo. I like that one.
Yeah. So, all right, we ready to go to the next set of 10?
Yep.
Okay, counting down from 31 to or 30 to 21. We've got Def Leppard with Love Bites. So we're getting a little bit heavier on here. Groovy Kind of Love by Phil Collins. I think that's part of the Buster soundtrack. Samantha Fox, and I don't know if this is true or not, but Naughty Girls Need Love too.
They need it on the dance floor.
Yeah.
Elsewhere.
Yeah. Then we got George Michael, Father Figure, which is an interesting song. Johnny Hates Jazz, which is a great name for a band. Shattered Dreams. There's Eric Carmen with Hungry Eyes. Hold On to the Nights by Richard Marx. We got him again. Robert Palmer, Simply Irresistible.
Yeah.
Irresistible.
And a song that can never get out of your head in the 80s. Shake Your Love.
Oh God.
Debbie Gibson. And then finally, another Michael Jackson song, Man in the Mirror, which is another good song off the bat.
I love Man in the Mirror.
All
It's
right,
one of my
Tony, do you want to go first on this one?
Yeah, Man in the Mirror is just it's in a league of its own out of all of these other ones. Like that's one of those songs that you're waking up, you're going to work. You've been doing it for, a couple of years, like you're worn out, you're burning yourself out, but like it's a motivator song. This song's a motivator song. This song makes you get up, makes you figure stuff out. I like it. I love it. You can say whatever you want, Agent Pepsi One. Don't make me add to my red wine parody on you. I'll do it.
That's okay.
Do it.
Tony, what else do you like?
Simply Irresistible is obviously the other one
Yeah.
that sticks out. Hungry Eyes is a song that's easily parodied too. It was so easily parodied, in fact, that Squidbillies did a parody of it called Thirsty Eyes with that one dude that was claiming to be Patrick Swayze, who he looked nothing like him. Like he had no legs or anything. He just like, but I'm Patrick Swayze. And they're like, no, you're not. So yeah, there's and the Def Leppard, definitely stands above like all of these just because it's definitely more into the metal camp. And that's always a good thing. When metal gets represented, and I think Heather Ella can wholeheartedly agree, we are happy for it. So
For sure.
yeah.
All right, Pepsi, I know you're dying to say something about this, Ted.
Yeah, okay. I have to agree with Tony on one. Love Bites is amazing. Def Leppard is one of the. I tell you that they're an amazing band that didn't get enough recognition. They really didn't. Then you have, oh my God, Groovy Kind of Love. No. Samantha Fox. No.
Oh, come on, cut a rug, man.
I
Oh,
like
wow.
the song though. I like the
Pepsi,
song.
are you going to comment on the name of her song, though? I mean, is it
I
true?
mean, it is.
Oh,
Oh,
ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. It's true.
It is true. Especially in my younger days, it is very true. But no,
Wow.
I do have to say between Samantha Fox and Debbie Gibson, I like them both actually. And but they also set fashion trends of the late 80s. So that's something with them. But of all these up here, I will have to say Love Bites is my favorite, followed by Simply Irresistible. And I like Hungry Eyes, no matter how easy it is to parody. But Man in the Mirror, I'm sorry. I just can't see it. In the morning, I like to play You Got Another Thing Coming. That's what I like to play in the morning and loud. So, oh my God, you got to be kidding me. Man in the Mirror, this is no.
Agent Pepsi's looking in the mirror.
God, it's not good, Tony. It's not good.
Tony, what are you gonna add to that? It's time to change that dress. Oh,
Oh no.
sorry, Agent. did you
Arguing
want-
with the rest of the panel, but it's time to make that change. Na 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 na.
Hey, it's okay.
Oh no.
If you want the slow stuff to get you started in the morning, then followed up by 2 gallons of coffee, it is okay.
I think
Coffee.
Naughty Girls Need Love Too would be a better morning song. Yeah. just,
Oh,
God, I
wow.
agree.
That
I
depends
absolutely
on
agree.
the night prior.
wanna
Am
have
I right?
Wow. Makes me want to know what happened the night before, but
Yeah, I never know.
Heather, what's your favorite on this?
Well, you got the man right in the middle there, appropriately. Robert Palmer, Simply Irresistible.
Oh my God, yes.
That song is just fire. And he plays bass, guitar, and the drums on the recording. If you listen to the bridge in the middle, like the drums are just outstanding, and the bass, like where it does the real, like it's just so cool. This has one of the coolest bass lines ever. The model chicks are back, not pretending to be a band, but dancing. They do some pretty weird dancing, but I like the video just because Robert Palmer is like one of the smoothest guys ever. He's just super cool.
It is.
I just love the video. I love that song. That's one that I could just crank up. It's still, to me, it still sounds awesome. After that, I gotta go with Father Figure, and this album was like made cassettes okay, because every song on this album is really, really good. It really showed off George Michael's voice finally. With Wham, he only had a couple songs I thought that did that, but in this album, you can really hear what a good singer he is. He wrote and produced every song on this album, with the exception of one. Played a ton of the instruments. He just this really kind of showcased how talented he actually was. And the father figure, I know people think it's weird, but it's really just a metaphor for someone who's protective and has unconditional love for someone. And I think that's what he is saying, like, to his love, like, you've never had that before, and I'm this person to give you this sort of protective unconditional love that you've been looking for. I think it's a beautiful, sweet song, and people try to make it into like a creepy thing, but I don't know, I never got that from it. The chorus is okay, but the bridge to that song is fantastic. It's really beautiful, and it has like so much different instrumentation, like piano and acoustic guitar and synthesizer. All the arrangement's really incredible if you actually listen to it. So
Wasn't there a little
I
sax
think
in
it's
there?
a really good song. Probably my second favorite on there.
Wasn't there some saxophone in there too? Or is that just
Yeah, I think no, that's in a different song. I don't think it's in. There's sax in that one.
Okay.
It has the synthesizer and then the piano, the acoustic guitar, but really cool, super cool arrangements in there.
Okay, so guys, Love Bites is a great song. Although when I was a kid, I used to think it said "Love Bites Your Knees" instead of "Love Bleeds," but that was just me being a kid. It's not the best of these 10, but I do like "Groovy Kind of Love" because I love Phil Collins. I think he's got a great voice. It's not the best song, but it's nice. It's kind of a sappy love song, but I thought it was really good.
Very
Not
sweet.
Love 2, I
Very
listened to it the other day for the first time in a long, long time, and it just doesn't hold up at all. Let's see. Father Figure, I agree, is a really good song on that. Shattered Dreams is another good one by Johnny Hates Jazz. I just think it was overplayed a little bit. Nothing, Shattered Dreams, and it's on like every single compilation of one-hit wonders from the 80s that you can think of. Hungry Eyes is good, but again, it's more Dirty Dancing, and so Dirty Dancing was just all over the place. I mean, that song was played all the time. I really love "Hold On to the Nights" by Richard Marx. Really pretty song. Another great one by him. This album was fantastic. "Shake Your Love" just annoys the crap out of me, and it was overplayed all the time. It's probably her most popular song. "Man in the Mirror" is an interesting introspective song. I don't think it's the best song off of Bad, but it's better than the title song from Bad. And Simply Irresistible takes the cake for me for these 10. Robert Palmer just knocks it out. And I agree with Wes
He
Cagle
does.
on here when he said that it's much better than Addicted to Love.
Addicted to Love.
I
Yeah.
agree. Simply Irresistible is better than Addicted to Love on here. But any other thoughts on these 10?
Yeah, I think Hungry Eyes was perfect for Dirty Dancing because it has that
yeah.
mambo. It has
yeah.
mambo timing, so you could do like the little ball change step to it. Dance, it was perfect. It has all the dancing compilation from all the stuff they were doing. So that, I mean, it's kind of good. It's a cool song. Richard Marx, this is his better one, I think, in this group. It has
Yeah.
a pretty piano. Really nice. Yeah. No, I think it's good. This is a generally pretty good bunch. But I don't know, you guys. Naughty Girls Need Love too, man. You gotta put that on, dance around a little bit. Get pumped up.
Is that one of your theme songs now,
Cut a-
Heather?
Cut a rug to that, man. Yeah.
So that's one of yours, one of your theme songs.
Oh heck yeah. I like it.
I know what to requisition a particular squid to perform next.
Yeah.
Oh wow, we're getting all kinds of ideas here.
Oh Lord.
All right, we ready to go to the next set of 10?
I was cloned ready.
Okay, so from 20 down to 11, we have Taylor Dane with "I Will Always Love You." Another great Def Leppard song. Pour Some
Yeah.
Sugar on
Oh
Me.
my God, yes.
Which
Mhm.
oh my gosh, does that bring the chocolate sauce in the bedroom? We'll find out in a minute. Wild Wild West by the Escape Club, which I think is a great song. White Snake makes their appearance on this top 40 with "Is This Love?" Changed by Expose. Billy Ocean off the License to Drive soundtrack as well. Get Out of My Dreams, Get in the Car. Cheap Trick, a really good song by them, in my opinion. The Flame. Gloria Estefan and Miami Sound Machine, Anything for You. Wishing Well by Terrence Trent D'Arby, which now I've got the tune stuck in my head after saying that. And then another great George Michael song. I think he's in every single one of these 10 with the song One More Try. So let's talk about these 10. FC, you sound like you want to go first.
Okay. I mean,
Again, she grits her teeth and smiles at the same time.
Come on, this is a good one. These are
it's not as good as
great.
the others. No, one that I do not like is this Wishing Well song.
Oh,
I don't like it. No, I don't. If you
my
want Wishing Well,
God.
it's a song from the early 70s by Free. That is amazing. This is not amazing. This is
Oh,
this is just
Pepsi.
mediocre.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
Terrence
pedestrian.
Darby is great.
Oh my God!
I don't care what you all
Why?
think. You know that. Yeah, now number 17. Oh God, White Snake. Yes.
Oh, you don't like the White Snake? Is This Love?
No, I like that one. That's great.
Okay.
Wild Wild West. It wasn't for me. Now, Def Leppard, of course, is something that I love to listen to.
So does that mean does that okay chocolate sauce in the bedroom, or
It can be.
Redemption. Oh God.
Oh my God. Okay. Taylor Dane. Taylor Dane. I mean, I like her songs, but I don't necessarily like her voice. It is just something. And the thing is, I mean, I think she tried to be too much of a Bonnie Tyler or maybe a Kim Carnes, in my opinion. I just don't like her voice, the way she sings. But that was Z's. I mean, that's all I have to say to Z's. I do like Cheap Trick, but I don't necessarily like this song.
Yeah, I like The Flame. It's a kind of a sweet love song. These are nowhere near as cheesy as those 81 love songs. And all the girls, man, were into the Cheap Trick. This guy singing this, it was more their ballad. Is pretty popular. But
Yeah,
I guess the band hated that song when they gave it. They didn't write it. Someone wrote it, and their producer or someone else wanted him to sing it. And one of the band members was like, "Oh God, this is awful." And but it became a huge hit for him. So
yeah.
they have to sing it all the time after that.
I
Perfect.
mean, true enough, true enough. But when I think of Cheap Trick, it's not what I think of.
No.
I mean, see, that's just me. It's not. I mean, it's a nice song, but it's not. It's not what I think of. And maybe if somebody else sang this, it would have been better. And like Billy Ocean, I'm a Billy Ocean fan, and
I
this
like
isn't
this. Hey, you, get into my car. It's good.
exactly. Um, but his earlier stuff is better.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the
Hail
other
to Andy Masterson. Good to see you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, hey,
Hey.
Andy.
Well, I don't know, man. I gotta disagree on Wishing Well. I love Terrence Trent D'Arby, and that whole CD is like another one where you could play the whole cassette tape. You didn't have to fast forward. You could just run the whole thing through. He's got especially the songs that weren't radio singles, like If You All Get to Heaven, I'll Never Turn My Back on You. He has a lot of really good songs on those, kind of soulful, really good voice. He could sing in that kind of scratchy voice and also like a really clear tone. Definitely love his to me he's really good. So that was one of my favorites on there. Um and God, he was nominated for a Grammy that year for Best New Artist and lost to like Jody Watley, who is just
You gotta
like
be kidding me.
a just a one hit kind of dance floor. Like no one will ever remember her again. I don't think that was like another horrible choice by the Grammys. But let's see what else is on here. One More Try, George Michael. Again, that's a beautiful song. Um, and let me see who was. Oh, Tony Scott directed the video. That was what I was going to say about that one, which was kind of cool because it has a little bit of that light coming through the window, Top Gun look to it. Um, what else is on here? Pour Some Sugar on Me, of course. I mean, Def Leppard, like you said, they didn't get a lot of credit. They didn't get any
Right.
critic love from the critics, but those guys were so popular. I mean, they were
Yeah.
just huge. So
Heather, I tell you this: if you see one of their concerts today, and they are still touring, they sound amazing. I mean,
yeah,
I have
better
a concert
now.
of
I
theirs.
mean, though they're one of those bands like from the 80s that sounds so much better now touring because they are sober. And when they were
Exactly.
actually playing in their heyday in the 80s, you never knew if they were going to remember the lyrics or not because they'd be so messed up. So, yeah, I think it's better to see those kind of bands
Yeah.
today.
I mean, there is a concert there was on DVD from 2017. It's done in England, and it is spectacular. I can only recommend it.
Yeah, see, Andy's with me. Faith was a great album. It was an awesome album. There's not a bad song on there, I don't think. Really good. Tawny Katane, yeah, White Snake. This is after the Tawny Katane, though, video escapades, I think, or
Yeah,
was she in
here I
the
go
video
again.
too?
Yeah.
Wild
Yep.
Wild West is terrible. Just, my God, I don't. How did that song get popular? I don't even know.
It's a movie.
I will answer that question when it's my turn. Tony, what do you think about this
All
10?
right.
Well, Wild Wild West was a better TV series before it was a movie. But
It was a
I
great
digress.
TV series.
Yeah, I digress. I like White Snake. White Snake sticks out. Def Leppard obviously sticks out. Pour Some Sugar on Me is a memeable song. They even had commercials where people were confusing the lyrics to it because it was so up tempo and had all of the sound coming through it. Like it was heavy. It was really, really heavy. Get Out of My Dreams, Get Into My Car. That's an easy song to parody. I might do that down the road. Yeah, this is a pretty good list. Another George Michael song. Again, I have to agree with Robert. I think there's a George Michael song all the way up to the tippy top, with Faith, I think, being at number one. And yeah, this is a pretty good assembly of songs here. I've heard just about all of them. The only one that I don't remember right offhand because I haven't heard in a while is probably Cheap Trick. When I think of Cheap Trick, I think of I Want You to Want Me. But then again, that's anybody.
Things like that. Yeah.
Right. So Eddie Masterson goes, the memories, the near arrests, the near-death experiences.
All right. So Taylor Dane, she's always been hit or miss with me, but I think this is one of her prettier songs. I always think of Tell It to My Heart and a couple others with her, but this one's actually really pretty, I think. Pour Some Sugar on Me, Def Leppard. For me, that was like the song of summer when my brother and I were both at YMCA day camp, and both our parents were working at the time. They dropped us off at the day camp, and we'd spend all day doing swimming and hiking and all kinds of stuff. And this song was always played like all the time. So yeah, it's very big. Wild Wild West, Escape Club. So I got two stories about this song. So first off, at the 6th grade talent show, they wouldn't let us sing it because of the lyrics. When they found out the lyrics said something about "give me safe sex," lip sync it, and it got popular because the video had the weird hand and feet stuff, and it was actually banned in England, and I think that helped the Escape Club rise to the top. It was on the radio all the time. It's an okay song. I just, part of it is good. The rest of it's just kind of, the lyrics are kind of just strange. Is This Love by White Snake is a very pretty song. Here I Go Again, I think it's a little bit better, but Is This Love?
It is.
The one thing about White Snake that was interesting is Coverdale changed his band members like 4 or 5 times in between albums. And it's just the reason why White Snake was never really able to take off from here, which they should have. They should have been a big popular band. A lot of people compared him to Led Zeppelin because he sounded a lot like Robert Plant. And he did get with Jimmy Page, and they did an album together, but he just was never satisfied with the people around him. And that was his undoing. And that was the big problem. Seasons Changed by Expose is an okay song. Get Out of My Dreams, Get Into My Car reminds me of the movie License to Drive. Corey Haim and Corey Feldman were at the top of their game. All the girls, those guys. I think it was it Heather Graham that was in that? She played Mercedes. Whoever played, the chick that played Mercedes was hot. That's all I
She's
remember.
so lucky. She's so lucky.
No idea.
I think The Flame is a really pretty song. It's not, one that I'm sitting there going, oh, Cheap Trick. I thought it was by somebody else, but The
Right.
Flame is really pretty. Anything for You by Miami Sound Machine is a vast difference from a lot of the other songs that I think of when I think of Miami Sound Machine. Wishing Well is another whistling song with Don't Worry, Be Happy that I just get the tune stuck in my head. And it's got that cool beat to it. I dig it. It's all right. But One More Try is just an excellent song off of Faith. It is one of the best songs on there. I think he pours his heart and his soul into that song, and I think it's really, really pretty. So, all right. So we come to the point in the top 10 where we want to talk about songs that didn't make the top 40, and we've already talked about a couple of them. But AJ Pepsi won. I know you're dying to talk about other songs besides these top 40 since you're a little bit critical of some of these. So, what didn't make it?
Okay.
What didn't make it that you liked?
Well, I tell you what, from these other songs, a song that didn't even make it on the top 100 is one of my favorite songs by Uriah Heep, and that's also from 1988. It's called Mr. Majestic. And I think it's probably their last big hit by Uriah Heep. And this is another band that doesn't get a lot of credit. Although musically they were amazing. But just going down this stuff, I mean, just from 100, White Lion, Wait is a good song, but 2 years later they did a cover of Radar Love, which is even better. I'm not a big David Lee Roth fan. He was good with Van Halen, but he was not so good by himself. In Excess, I'm not a big fan of them. John Cougar Mellencamp, Cherry Bomb. I think there were some
Oh
better
wow, I'm
things,
surprised
but
you mentioned that because you didn't like John Cougar Mellencamp
Right.
times ago.
I do. I mean, but this Cherry Bomb was it's okay. This George Michael again. Oh my god. Yeah, but then you have Foreigner. It's in there like at number 86. That's a good song. You have all kinds of nice things in here. You have Icehouse Say You Will by Foreigner number 73. It's great. You have I just lost my train of thought completely. Hey, 85, for example, I Hate Myself for Loving You is why is this not like in number 5? This is amazing.
I think this song got more popular after the 80s than it did.
Yeah, I think so. I don't remember it being huge at that time.
No,
it wasn't one of her bigger songs.
Yeah, then you have Candle in the Wind, and this song is actually from the early 70s. So I'm not quite sure why Elton John released it in the late 80s again, but okay. Here you have stuff like that, and it's a lot of these are really good, and some of these, like, hey, I like Locomotion by Kylie.
Yeah,
I just can't pronounce her last name.
Minogue.
Yeah, I just love that song. The video to this song is just funny. And there's Karl Marx again. Okay.
Yeah, another good cover, right? Kylie Minogue's Locomotion.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A lot of covers this year.
Yeah. The Elton John Candle in the Wind is because it was off his live album.
Oh, okay. That would make sense. And of course, there's number 41. Bad Medicine is one of the best songs Bon Jovi ever put out.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And and behind that is, come on now, Kokomo by the Beach Boys. I hear Kokomo, I just, they did so much good stuff. I mean, hey, they did so much good stuff. Kokomo is unfortunately not one of the good things.
Well, you know why it was popular, right?
I have no idea.
The movie with Tom Cruise, Cocktail.
Cocktail. It was in Cocktail.
Him and Elizabeth Shue.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the reason why it was so popular, especially Elizabeth Shue. Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, you see, I didn't know that. I did not know that.
Ooh, yeah.
And of course you have number 48. I think this is the first song without the lead singer from Chicago that left.
Yeah. One of the first hits without him, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's also one of their last hits because they went down rapidly afterwards. But I mean, this is what I have there. But like I said, I'm missing Uriah Heep, which I think should be in there. So yeah, I mean, this is some things that should. I mean, I would. Like I said, I mean, Billboard and like we discussed before is not necessarily what was popular, but it's necessarily what is profitable.
True. Record companies control a lot of this, but all right.
Yeah, I mean that. Yeah.
Tony, what do you like that didn't get on there besides Kokomo?
Say you will write another
there.
love ballad. Every band had to be bleeding their hearts out over it. No, man, but yeah, Say You Will. But yeah, this was
beautiful song, Tony. She'll be on my shit list.
They had to get the
but that's part of the fun now, isn't it? No, there's a motley assembly. There's like sprinkles throughout through this. The Foreigner tracks obviously stick out, but In Excess was on its way out. One Moment in Time by Whitney Houston. I remember that song. There was Always on My Mind. That's another, I think, cover by the Pet Shop Boys.
I love
during
that
their
Pet
whole
Shop Boys
Go
cover.
West era. Their Go West, that whole whole vibe that they had going on. But yeah, there's a little bit in here, but Kokomo, and of course, you can't think of Rick Astley without thinking of that one song that I am tempted to perform to Rickroll you guys in real time.
Don't Rickroll the stream.
Roll the
I will
stream.
Rickroll the stream.
And
Not till the
give it a
end.
top 10.
She says not till the end. Absolutely. Then I will wait till
Right when
the
we're
end.
signing off. Don't
There
Rickroll
you
us
go.
until then.
There you go. There you go.
Otherwise, yeah.
But yeah, those are some of the ones that stick out to me for sure.
All right, Heather, let's attack this. What
All
else?
right. Well, Wes Cagle is like reading my mind because I had "Kissing a Fool," also from the Faith album, is just another fantastic song from that. I just love
We're gonna love
the writing of that one. And I think In Excess's album "Kick" was really big this year. They were a huge band. They've got a ton of good songs in the top 100 from that record. But my favorite one is "Never Tear Us Apart." Just a beautiful song with all the instrumentation, the violins. The video's cool where they're like walking through Prague, through the historic part of the city. So that one's one of my favorites. I also love Pet Shop Boys, "Always on My Mind." I think that's a great cover too. They did a great job. One of my favorite songs, and they did a great job with that. Elton John, "I Don't Want to Go On With You Like That." I love this was kind of Elton John going into his more kind of poppy phase. It's a little bit different of type songs for him, but love those two. Oh, and Sting, "We'll Be Together." I love that song. Eric Clapton actually played on a version, and it didn't come out on that album, but he played on the version that's on the Greatest Hits. Not a super guitar riffy song, but still kind of an interesting little factoid. And then, of course, "Bad Medicine." I mean, that's one of my favorite
my
songs
God,
from
yes.
Bon Jovi, and that video is so awesome. John Bon Jovi has the best hair of anyone on the planet, like man or woman. Nobody has better hair than John Bon Jovi. It just women are all jealous of that dude's hair. The guy's like this. It's just because a lot of guys have a long hair or big hair, have a lot of hair. His is just like I don't know. This is the best.
Yeah, but don't get a flame next to it though. Go up
Yeah.
Yeah, especially back at that
It'll be a
time.
Michael Jackson.
Don't pull that. And then metal albums. I had a lot of metal albums came out this year. Metallica and Justice for All, Iron Maiden's Seventh Son of a Seventh Son,
Oh my God,
Megadeth,
yes.
So Far, So Good, So What, Bon Jovi's, of course, New Jersey, and Lita Ford. I don't know if anyone liked that.
Oh
Lita
my
Ford.
God,
She did
Lita
this
Ford.
song with
Yes,
Ozzy, but
indeed.
she was pretty cool.
Oh my
So-
God, yes.
Those are my highlights for 88.
Cool.
I
Here,
didn't even
go ahead.
think of Lita Ford. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Just didn't even think of Lita Ford. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, she was pretty badass. I like
What
her.
an amazing voice.
Yeah, badass guitar player.
Okay, gotta mention a few on here that you guys may not have mentioned. I mean, obviously, "Nothing But a Good Time" by Poison was played often, and I think that's a good song. Just Like Paradise by David Lee Roth. I just remember the "This must be just like living in paradise." And go home. But a beautiful song on here by Steve Winwood, "Valerie." The album that he released that year was just phenomenal, and "Valerie" is just a really, really pretty song off that album. I love that. "In Excess," "Never Tear Us Apart," I agree, is one of the great ones. It was overplayed. It was good like the first couple times I saw it, but it was way overplayed. I'm surprised it's this far down. But "I Found Someone" by Cher.
Yeah.
I mean, Heather, that was played all the time.
Yeah.
On there because she was making her big comeback.
That was her big comeback, and she was all over MTV.
Oh yeah. "Cherry Bomb" was all over MTV as well. I thought that was a good song by John Mellencamp, John Cougar Mellencamp at this point. "Kissing a Fool" I think is one of the prettiest songs on Faith. I don't know why it's not higher. Maybe it was because it was released a little bit later. Don't You Know What the Night Can Do is a good song by Steve Winwood. I'm a Steve Winwood fan. I think Foreigner was going out of style with I Don't Want to Live Without You. Let's see. When It's Love by Van Halen, I thought was a good song. Is that the one? Is that OU 81? Is that on that? Is that the album that it came out on?
You know, When It's Love. That's
Yeah,
that's
OU
Geffen era Van Halen though.
Yeah, that's OU 81 too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, 5150 was a hard album to follow up. That was an awesome album. I love that album.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, 5150 was amazing.
Yeah, I love that album. Pet Shop Boys. You mentioned it always been on my mind, but here's why it's so good. When they add a synth pop to it,
Yeah,
it
was perfect.
It changed the mood of the song, and it made it a little bit different. And that's what's so because it's so
same way with Go West, man. They did the same thing to Go West.
Yes.
Yeah.
They had such a cool sound. Love Pet Shop Boys.
Yeah. Bruce Hornsby in the Range, The Valley Road. That's an underrated song. Bruce Hornsby has an amazing voice, but his songs are so particular about certain events or certain things. Mandolin Rain is probably my favorite song. Everybody talks about what's the name of the song. That's Just the Way It Is probably his most popular one. Mandolin Rain is probably his best one. But this one's another pretty one that he has. Fast Car by Tracy Chapman was played all the time on the radio. I
love Tracy Chapman.
And Tracy Chapman was excellent. I think that's a good song.
Yeah.
Natalie Cole took her shot at Pink Cadillac, which is another remake. Let's see. Man, I don't know why Agent Pepsi 1 didn't mention Daryl Hall and John Oates. I mean,
you know why?
Song that hits everything your heart desires. I didn't think that was. Let's see.
Another glass of wine right now, but okay.
Yeah. Peter Cetera, One Good Woman. It's an okay song, not his best.
Yeah.
New Edition was really popular still. If This Isn't Love. In Excess, another one, New Sensation. That was played all the time too on MTV. Remember that one, Heather?
What was that? Sorry.
New Sensation.
Yeah, New Sensation. In Excess, the Kick record was huge.
Yeah.
That's the poet record. It's
yeah.
like a natural instinct. But yeah, it's great.
I thought Perfect World by Huey Lewis and the News is pretty good. There we got Dirty Diana from Michael Jackson back down at number 61. I thought that should be way higher.
But the thing about the Huey Lewis song though is it's just not the kind of song I want to, bury a fire axe into somebody with. I mean,
well, the thing about it is that
what
Huey Lewis had Sports and 4. And oh my gosh, it was so hard to top that success of both those two albums. Those two albums were just phenomenal stuff by them. And they had hit it really, really big. And then you add the Back to the Future soundtrack to that. And Huey Lewis was huge. So Perfect World was a step down and a step in a different direction that they were going. I think they got Say It's All Right, their a cappella song on there that was really good. Another song that was played way too much on the radio was I Get Weak by Belinda Carlisle. Do you remember that? And then Desire by U2. Not their best song, but still a pretty good one. And then there's that other Taylor Dane song that I always think of when I think of her, Tell It to My Heart. Was it 53?
I think Taylor Dane is like one of the Taylor Swift's laser ladies that he's always talking about. I think she's one of those.
Yep. And then you guys mentioned
Chicago. More talent.
Richard Marx, I think Should Have Known Better is a good song. I thought it should have been higher on this list. Should have known better than to fall in love with you. And then another NXS song that was played all the time on MTV, Devil Inside. But yeah, interesting stuff about Bon Jovi. I had the tape Bad Medicine. I had the tape New Jersey, their album. Great album. I used to wear that out, and I think the tape broke because I listened to it so much.
Oh my
Yeah, I
gosh.
was just wondering, like, what happened to all my old cassette tapes? Like, I don't know. Like some of those, like the ones that you buy, the legit ones, I think I just wore them out because I listened to them so much, like that, like Faith, and I had both Bon Jovi, Slippery When Wet in New Jersey, and yeah, but I still have this whole box of like mixtapes that I made, but somehow I don't have any like, you know, official cassette tapes. I don't know if I threw them
Tapes that
out
you
or they
made.
wore out or what happened to them, but those are gone. But the
And
mixtapes, man, I got so many of those. It's funny to
did you
look
tape
at them
songs
and
off the radio too, like I
what,
did?
what's that?
Did you tape songs off the radio like I
Oh,
did?
all the time. Yeah. It was
Yeah.
hard
That was the
because
way to pirate.
And then
That was
also,
pirating.
but you
Heather,
could
did you
only
have the
get
dual cassette machine where you
the
could?
dual cassette deck, yeah, because
Yes.
this is what sucked is right. You couldn't just listen to anything. Like now, you want to listen to all these songs or listen to an album. You go to the store and you got money for like one cassette, and you want you could pick one. So your friends each get a different one, and then you dub the tapes. So you got your one, and then you got everybody else's dubs.
Oh,
And
yeah, and you
the
could even speed it
mixtape.
up and it would go faster. Um,
And you had to get, run to the radio, like listening, oh, the song's gonna come on, and hit record so you could catch it from the beginning and try to catch it when the stupid DJ's not talking over the song
Exactly.
intro. And it's just like,
Yes.
oh, shut up.
98.5 FFFMMM.
I
Yes.
gotta hit that time where he's not freaking talking right, and they talk right up till they started singing. It was so irritating. Like, no, don't talk over the intro.
Yep, that or they would cut it, they would fade it out if it was the last song for like that hour, if they're getting ready to talk too. So you got it on the front end of the song or the back end of the song. The other trick to that was to keep it recorded and hit pause, and then you just unpause it and then it recorded too. But one other thing I want to mention with cassette tapes. Okay, I hated that when cassette tapes had that, that plastic thing that was like you had the cassette up here and you had the two other things and you had to like rip open the plastic and then you get to the cassette tape and it's in a plastic thing and you gotta open that. It's just like, dude, how hard is it to open up the stupid cassette tape?
Yeah, how much plastic can you have? But the best technology to come out was it sensed the space between songs, so you could just hit fast forward and it would stop at the
Yes.
space. So you didn't have to keep like fast forward, stop. Am I there yet? And fast forward and stop. So you like keep going back
Right.
and forth.
Yes.
Oh my God.
And then the other thing I did besides make mixtapes is a buddy of mine and I would pretend to be radio DJs, and we had the dual cassette where we'd hit
Everybody did that.
voice, and then we'd play the song on the other one, and it was fun. But the problem was is that if we tried to do it at the same time, it would monotone it out. But
Yeah,
Right.
it wouldn't sync. Yeah.
but all right, you talked about mixtapes. Did you ever give or receive a mixtape from somebody?
Oh yeah, that was the big thing. If you're, dating
Yeah.
anyone, oh, made you a mixtape. It was like
Oh,
it's so freaking cheesy,
that
but
is
that was
sweet though.
I
It
know.
is sweet.
We did that all the time. Yeah, definitely
God.
boyfriends making mixtapes
But-
for each other. It is.
But speaking of mixtapes, how old were you when you found out that if you were trying to like dub over a tape that was pre-recorded, you had to punch out the little plastic bits on either side on top,
Well, if you
and vice versa, put a tape over.
if you
the,
took the plastic
yeah.
out, you couldn't record over it. It was like a
Yeah.
protection, right? So
Right.
Yeah.
if you made a tape, then you take out the plastic, those little plastic squares. But then, yeah, you could put tape over it if you wanted to actually
Yeah.
tape over it.
You know, the thing is, the question is, those pre-recorded tapes are like the lowest quality tape stock they use. Why would you do this? And like I said, I'm into stereos. And I'm kind of weird because I do mixtapes today because I enjoy the sound.
How funny.
And
Well, I could
oh my
I could
God.
record on mine. I could record the record if I had the record, but
Right?
Agent Pepsi One, you got to understand, records were like twice as much as cassettes back then, unless you're buying singles.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so records were a little bit more expensive, So you could get like 2 tapes for the price of 1 record.
Okay.
And then we didn't have all the digital technology and stuff on computers that we did. So it was like we had to work with what we had. So, but
Okay.
the cool thing about tapes and tape decks as well was like in your car also you had this button where you can flip the tape to the other side. And so there are various tapes that I had where song on side A, I'd flip it over to side B and it'd be the start of another song that I liked on side B. So
Yeah, that was
Okay.
perfect when you'd buy an album and like the first song was good and then you could flip it over and the last song on the second side was good. But like if those were the positioning of the 2 good songs, you're set. But if they're like the start of each side, you're like, because you don't want to listen to the rest. You gotta fast
Oh.
forward all the time. You gotta position them right so you can just flip it over.
oh yeah, that was a pain.
Hey, like I said, I understand that. And in fact, I was listening to a tape this morning. So, it's just the sound now. I mean, it's a different sound than the CD makes. It's a different sound than MP3 makes. It's a different sound from lossless. I just enjoy the sound of that analog format.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think analog sounds warmer than digital.
It
It
does.
just has a
does.
nicer, kind of richer sound to it. I just worry, like, they always get eaten. So some of the old ones, like, they get eaten in the cassette
Well,
thing, and
I
I
will
don't
tell
know.
you this. I will tell you this. You can't buy quality cassettes anymore
Yeah.
new. So I
No.
get them off eBay, and a lot of the stuff I buy is it's like a TDK SAX. It's like a Denon HD8, and those work just fine. The Maxell XL2Ss.
Mhm.
But I had some BASF tapes. I mean, they would be eaten because the tape just disintegrates.
Yeah.
Triad disintegrates.
Or they don't like because when they stop turning in sync, they get, like,
Yeah,
loose in the middle, and then they
exactly,
catch on the player. Yeah.
exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just a pain.
Well, and the worst part about it also is when your tapes would if you got them tangled, like when they come out and if they
Right, you pull it out and it's
you,
yeah.
if it broke, you'd have to try and tape it and you cut up a
Oh
song.
no.
I used to use Scotch tape on them all the time, like, you get really good at the precision, like, get the
Yeah.
really thin Scotch tape and, like, stick them on there,
Mhm.
like,
Yeah, that reminds me of doing reel to
oh
reel
god.
occasionally. They taught us how to do reel to reel and cut reel to reel in college when I was on the radio. And oh my gosh, those edits! I thank God for digital editing now. It's so much
Yeah.
easier. But Wes Cagle mentions that I punched out the tabs in my copy of the Beatles' Red album so I could put the monkey theme song on the blank part at the end and recorded it on the wrong side. Turns out he erased the song Help
Oh, no.
by
That's
mistake.
funny. Good one.
Good job, Wes Cagle. You learned something though, didn't you?
There it is.
But anyway, yeah, I mean, it just the joys of the 80s and the tapes. All right, we ready to go into this top 10?
Let's do it.
How many clones need to be ready?
Let's roll with it, baby. Steve Winwood, Roll With It is number 10. Hands to Heaven by Breathe. You guys won't probably know the song by the name of it, but if you listen to it, you probably recognize it. It was played a lot. Could Have Been by Tiffany. Heaven is a Place on Earth by Belinda Carlisle. So Emotional by Whitney Houston. Probably the best Guns N' Roses song, Sweet Child of Mine. Tony's favorite song, Never Gonna Give You Up by Rick Ansley.
You're gonna get it at the end of the show. You're gonna get it.
What the guys, Got My Mind Set on You by George Harrison. In Excess, Need You Tonight. And finally, George Michael yet again with the signature song, Faith, off the album. All right. So who wants to go first on this one?
I would, but I'm busy already bobbing and weaving and shaking my fists and getting ready to perform the hit,
Uh-oh. Well, I
Yeah.
would say Roll With It is nowhere near as good as Valerie. I would
Oh, yeah, I agree.
Oh, I agree. I agree.
Yeah. I
Oh my
think
God,
top
I
down. I
agree.
mean, Faith is awesome. I mean, we talked George Michael quite a bit already, but I love Faith. Need You Tonight,
Mhm,
same. In Excess. That
mhm.
was a great, and I actually not my favorite song off the album, but I love that whole album. Got My Mind Set on You. It's a cute song by George Harrison.
Mhm.
I know he didn't write it. It's another cover. This
Right.
is like the year of the cover songs, man. The
Mhm.
covers and movies, and then dominated by a couple albums, I think. But I like it, and I love the video with all the animals on the wall and
Mhm.
dancing. It's really cute.
Playing the pipe.
Rick Roll, I love Rick Astley. We won't go there. Sweet Child of Mine. I actually think, to me, just like you said, Cheap Trick. The Flame is not Cheap Trick. To me, this isn't really Guns N' Roses. Like this Appetite for Destruction was so hard. This song is just more
Yeah.
like another sweet ballad, which is why it's up in the top 10. But to me, like Night Train, My Michelle. I mean, this album
Mhm.
was really hard. It was a great album, though. Appetite is
Brownstone.
amazing, and I love Slash's guitar playing. He has
Yeah.
such a smooth, cool tone. It's so melodic, and he was actually, I think, just kind of goofing around playing a funny song, like when he wrote this riff, and then the rest of the band was like, "Oh, cool, keep playing that," and joined in and started playing the parts to it. But yeah, I like it. It was played a lot, and it really helped them break into the mainstream when the rest of the album is nothing like that. So if people were thinking, "Oh, this is cool, I'm gonna buy the album based on that song," they were kind of in for a shock because the rest, rest of
To
that
Mhm.
say
album,
the least.
yeah, nothing like that. But yeah, oh God, Tiffany. That song, I was looking at this list and I'm like, "Oh my god, I can't even remember that song." So I listened to it and it's like, "Oh, the flowers you bought me just died," and like, oh my god, it's just awful. I don't know. I was never into Tiffany. That one to me is terrible, but pretty good top 10 overall.
Yep. Agent Pepsi One. What are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, Faith. I, I can see it. I can see it being number one. I can see it. It wouldn't be my choice, of course, but I mean, I could see that one. Um, number three, I got my mind set on you. I like that song by George Harrison. I think though he did not put all the gusto into that song that he should have. I think it was kind of, I mean, he's a former Beatle and everything else. I would expect more with a performance.
Mhm.
Um,
Interesting.
Guns N' Roses. Wasn't this the same CD that their cover of "You Only Live Twice" is off of? Or was
No, that's on
Mhm.
that
Use Your
later?
Illusion. Yeah.
Yeah, it's on Use Your Illusion.
Yeah, but my favorite song of this whole thing is actually Belinda Carlisle. "Heaven is a Place on Earth." I love that song.
That's a nice song.
Um, and and I have, oh God, my husband would kill me.
Hates Man in the Mirror, loves Heaven is a Place on Earth. If that isn't a definition of dichotomy, I don't know what is.
Hey,
The
let's
two sides
say
of the same coin, Agent Pepsi One. Two sides
it
of the
is
same
not.
coin.
It is not. See, one artist, Belinda Carlisle, has talent. This Jackson person, he was dangling
Uh,
his baby out of the window in Berlin, but that might be years
yeah,
later.
SP4H says "Live and Let Die." That was an awesome
Mhm.
cover
Heaven
on
Oh
Use
let
yeah,
Your
that
Oh
was
Illusion.
God, I
great. That was
love that
great.
cover.
da.
It's a good thing my husband isn't listening because he told me that he was absolutely in love with Tiffany. So
Oh
that's,
no!
oh my God,
Oh,
yeah, that's,
Oh God.
uh,
I
play that awful song for him. This
you see,
could have
I
been.
talked to him about these songs actually. I talked to him about these songs actually because he lived through this. And he told me, he goes, "Oh my God, Tiffany, and this and that," and I'm going, "Oh,
That's a
okay," but
terrible song. It really is. Just the opening lyrics. I was like, oh my god.
it is a terrible song. I agree with it. I agree. Whitney Houston. I cannot deal with Whitney Houston anymore. I mean, she's
No.
just the thing is she was catapulted to stardom, and I don't think she had really the talent to pull it off. And at this time in her life, she was completely strung out on drugs. So that might have something to do with it.
Was she? Was she already with Bobby Brown at this point? Because I thought it was after this.
Yeah,
I'm not
I don't
certain, but
know.
in
I
the
can't
late 80s,
remember.
I think she started.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't think it was still after this, but it could have been. I mean, that first album that she had, she hit so big, and a lot of stars can't take the success that quickly, that fast.
Yeah,
Yeah. And that
yeah,
song, So Emotional, is by my man, Billy Steinberg, who
Mhm,
wrote like A Virgin and Eternal Flame and
mhm.
Alone, True Cut. I mean, he wrote some great songs.
mhm.
And I also have to agree with Heather on Guns N' Roses. Hey, Sweet Child of Mine is not Guns N' Roses. Like I would see them.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, it is a catchy tune, and I personally don't really like it. I can deal with it, but it's not something that I would go, oh yeah, I have to listen to it. Yeah, but then you have Steve Winwood, and quite frankly, I know Rob might not like this, but Roll with It is a nice song, but I think it plays too high.
I actually
I think
agree
it,
with
yeah, I would have placed it in the 20s, maybe the low 30s. Um, like I said, there were other things that didn't place at all that I think should have placed. Like Lou Graham, for example.
Yeah.
But that might be 89 when they did that movie with the vampires. He did the soundtrack for that. Lost Boys.
you. Mhm.
Y'all remember that Lost Boys?
Yes.
Yeah, that might be 89 though, not 88.
Yeah, I think it was
But
in.
Hail to Sean Carter.
Oh wow,
Hey, Sean Carter.
Sean.
hey,
Tony, your thoughts on the top 10? I know you're disappointed. Man in the Mirror didn't make it.
Oh man, finally a snapback. I was beginning to wonder if this rubber band was going to go on forever and ever and ever and ever. He's a hero, ladies and gentlemen. He is protecting Agent Pepsi One. But no, no, there's a lot of good ones on here. Guns N' Roses, once again representing that hard rock camp. Coming in hot. Faith is one of the most catchy songs in the history of the decade, not nigh the year, the
are
decade.
you insane? Okay.
It's catchy.
Oh, it
It's
totally
catchy.
is.
Catchy.
It
Yes.
is too
Yeah,
catchy.
it's got a
It
great
gets in
bass line
there.
with the acoustic
It's
guitar.
like,
Super.
I know I could probably write a parody. That way I can annoy everybody and all of you.
I still
You
think
know,
the album cover's weird though because it's like he's sniffing his
Yeah.
arm. But
Mhm.
It is. He's got that old musty leather jacket. He's like, oh,
Right.
throw it on there.
He's just like,
I think that was George Michael's attempt to get on a deodorant
uh,
commercial.
They
Two.
should have made the album cover like the video, his butt
Mhm.
standing backwards with the guitar. That was a good shot, man.
I'm
Like,
too sexy for this jacket.
like
Too sexy for
Springsteen
this
had his butt.
jacket.
We
I'd
needed
rather
George
have
Michael
the
butt.
jukebox with the girl and you
Yeah.
dress.
Nah, him by the jukebox, turned around backwards.
Mm-hmm.
That would have
Can't touch kissing a fool, says Wes Cagle. But obviously, at the end of the song, during my plug, you will expect number 3. You will expect it. You will see it. You will hear it. You will not see me do the swaying and the moving of my fists, but just know that I'm doing that right now as we speak, getting ready to perform it.
Oh, so you got your mind set on us?
No, I'm going. No, not that one. No.
Number 4.
You're going to get the role of the Rick variety, sir. It will
Okay.
happen.
All right. So let me talk about the top 10 really quick. So I agree. Roll with It. It's probably not a top 10 song. I like it. I like Steve Winwood, but I think Valerie's a much better song.
Yeah, I
But,
mean, I agree.
Hands to Heaven. I didn't know that song by the name of it, but it's that song that's Tonight I need your sweet caress. Hold me in the darkness. Tonight you calm my restlessness. You relieve my sadness. So I think that's a really pretty song. It's played a lot. That's your typical prom song, your typical skating rink slow song as well, because we had those back then too in the 80s. Tiffany is that song. I listened to it again for the first time in a long time, and I'm so glad I never will listen to it again because it's the stupidest song. Could have been so beautiful. Could have been. Oh my god! Oh my!
Rob, you need to cover that whole song now, please, for the sake of
Yes.
laughter.
Oh
please.
man! Oh,
Oh my, that was
Nails
such
on
a
a
wonderful
chalkboard,
voice you had
please.
there. Come
Oh.
on.
Very good.
Heaven is a Place on Earth. This is when Belinda Carlisle had left the Go-Go's, and I think it's a great album. She did a great job on this. I think Heaven is a Place on Earth was overplayed, though. It was way overplayed, and the video was on MTV all the time. So Emotional, another Whitney Houston song. I mean, honestly, I hate to say this, but I kind of agree with Whitney, with Agent Pepsi 1 on this. A lot of her songs start to run together at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Heather, would you agree in some ways? Because
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of them. I agree with Heather. Sweet Child of Mine, the reason why it's so good is because of Slash's guitar at the beginning.
Absolutely.
That is an epic, epic guitar solo. Now, the cool thing is it was about Axl Rose's girlfriend at the time, although that's weird to call her Sweet Child, and I think he was in love with her, and I think he knew her when they were both kids, and he was thinking about their childhood memories. But Sweet Child of Mine can get kind of creepy if you think about it. Rick Ansley, this song is the most well-known song. He's got a couple other songs that are actually really good too.
I think he's good. He's got a great voice. This
yeah, he
Opie
does.
Taylor with this great bass.
Oh yeah,
vocal.
he
It's so
does.
funny.
And I wish he would have done a little bit more. So George Harrison, this is one of his big comeback albums, and the thing that you may not know about this album is the guy that brought him back and produced this album was Jeff Lynne from ELO, and Jeff Lynne wrote and helped produce and sang background on a lot of this. He sang
God.
I Got My Mind Set on You, and there are actually two videos for the song. The one that's well known is him sitting and all the animals and stuff. There's another one where they're in like an arcade, and it's the lesser known. You can barely find it on YouTube somewhere, but Jeff Lynne's actually in that video. I Need You Tonight, NXS. This album was fantastic. I'm surprised there wasn't more NXS in the top 40 because
Yeah, they were all below 40, which is odd. I don't know. Did it come out late in '87? Was it?
I don't know,
was it
but
early '88? And I don't know. It is weird that there weren't more in the top 40 because this was all their songs were huge. So many great songs on that album.
It was huge. And then, yes, I love Faith. I think Faith is a great song. It's one of my favorite George Michael songs. But what I love about it the most is the beginning guitar riff, that acoustic guitar, that I mean, that's just fantastic. That's the earworm hook, the earworm hook for me with that song. And I just think it's a good song. But I mean, George Michael producing and singing and writing, I mean, you got to give it to him. I mean, this is a phenomenal album. And, guys, if you get a chance to get Faith, get Faith literally and figuratively and spiritually.
I forgot to bring my CD. I have that one. I couldn't show it off. I forgot to bring my.
Oh, you forgot to bring it? You don't have it anywhere? You want to?
Heather L is the
No,
student of Robert
I do
Wright
have it.
and
I have a lot of
pulling
these
out the
CDs,
stuff
and I
from
just
the
forgot
pocket
to.
dimension.
I've got Guns N' Roses, Faith, NXS, Terrence Trent D'Arby, all the metal albums. I mean, I've got so many of these CDs, and I don't know. It's slacking today. I didn't bring them to show off. I don't have the cassettes still. I don't know what happened to the cassettes, but I had these original.
Were given to my brother, who promptly lost them all.
Yeah, or used them for target practice or not something,
Oh yeah. Or
but
they
yeah,
got
Faith.
apartment complex.
George Michael wasn't even going to use that for a single. It was actually shorter. And then when everyone who listened to it was like, "Oh, that's a great song. That should be a single." So he added that guitar part in the middle to lengthen it because it was too short to release. Yeah, super catchy. That's a great.
Oh
that's a
yeah.
great guitar.
I mean, listen to the lyrics. I mean, before a river there comes an ocean. Before
Yeah.
you on the floor. I mean,
All his writing, his lyrics on that album are great. Just his vocals, all his instrument play. It's just a phenomenal album. Such a talented guy. It's so sad that he just, I don't know, it just life and fame and whatever. Just
well, I
let him
think
down the wrong.
this thing made him bigger than his Wham days. I mean, it's another one of those situations that we already talked about where he just got so big, it was hard to follow up Faith. You know?
Yeah, and then he did. I mean, after that, I thought he had some great songs too, and he tried to change his image after exploiting the sex symbol thing. Now I'm gonna not show my face and not be a sex symbol, but he just seemed like he had a hard time. I mean, it's hard for a lot of people, but it seemed really difficult for him to handle all of that situation and probably coming out and everything too. But just made it worse.
Well,
But
and you
yeah.
got to understand that some of these musicians are not really extroverts either. That they're
Right.
very introverted, and that's what makes them so good and so detailed with their music. And it's hard to handle the popularity at the time that they would get because you guys back then you didn't have all the internet exposure, but you did have a lot of paparazzi, and you did have where they couldn't really go. I mean, still with celebrities, they can't go anywhere normal nowadays without wearing a disguise. But you got to understand how mobbed these people were at the time. It was just crazy, you know.
Wow. Wes Cagle says, strange year. I got Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. That's a plus. And the Tiffany album that year. Maiden fans disowned me, as they should, and Tiffany fans were afraid of me, as they were.
So you switched from Maiden to Tiffany. Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, just because you dated the girl that kind of looked like her, Wes Cagle, I don't know if you should have bought the album. I mean, just listen to Maiden.
We
Uh,
here, the metalhead community, have to provide you with one thing and one thing only.
Oh, do we need a metal version of? Do we need a metal version of Could Have Been?
There's actually a hilarious take on YouTube. If Black Sabbath wrote "Never Gonna Give You Up," and it's you know how people do these. If this person covered this song, it just if you want to hear the heavy metal Rickroll, go look that up on YouTube.
That's cool. That's funny.
If I find an instrumental, I might do that one night on a karaoke.
Yeah, maybe. All right. Well, was there anything else about the top 10 or any part of this top 100 that you guys wanted to talk about or wanted to say?
No, I'll wait.
Anything else? I thought this top 10 and this top 40 was really good. So. All right, folks. Next month, December, we're going to do the top 40 Christmas songs, if I can find them. And then after that, we'll wrap up the 80s in the last couple of months with 81 and 89. And we'll do our personal top 40 to wrap up the 80s, which you guys should get excited about. It should be fun.
Yes, that'll be fun.
Hey, we did 81. It should be 1980.
Yeah, we're going to do 1980 and 1989. Sorry.
Okay.
1989. So, but anyway, I'm going to let you guys plug away. Heather, I know you're wrench for Doomcock. Anything more that you want to say? So we're having Pop Culture Breakdown this week, right?
I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Hopefully this week, high noon. And then at some point in the future, starts another Hangar 18. We'll be talking about some metal songs. And back here. That's all I could do. I'm on limited rotation.
Yep. Agent Pepsi One, what have you got going on, dear lady?
Well, I mean, I am so snowed under with work. So it's coming up to the Thanksgiving break, and this is the time where all the tests come in. So when we come back, we only have 3 weeks. 2 of those are instructional. So I am going to do my best, but I am going to be posting more stuff to my YouTube channel. I finally said to hell with YouTube. If they're going to ban me, they're going to ban me for some stupid reason anyway. So that's what's going to happen. And I am looking forward to the Christmas songs and 1980 and 89.
Yep, we get the bookends after that. Yep. All right, Stark, what have you got for us? What's going on?
Well, here in approximately 58 minutes as of this notice stop, I will be joining Sean Carter on episode 3 of the Sci-Fi Workshop, showing off some of my armor pieces, showing off some of my model sets, explaining a little bit of the processes that I'll be having done with that, as well as going over some fan mail and some fan submissions from other people in the modeling community that want to get their work out there. So I cannot wait to hang out with Sean here in about an hour. After that, I might have a porch sit get together where we'll just, shoot the shit for a couple hours. I'm saying shoot the crap. My apologies for naughty language. Just hey. Well, it's a porch sit. And when you're porch sit, you shoot the you-know-what.
Yes.
So I hope that anybody who's up late night this Sunday will be hanging out with me after our fun with Sean. And what was that other thing? What was that other thing I was going to do? Oh yeah, the Stark party Monday. So that's going to be fun. That's going to be the long form stream where it's a party where anything can happen. You never know who will show up. And of course, all 3 of you are invited despite your busy schedules. You'll see a link in your Twitters. And then what was that other thing? It's very important. Oh yeah.
Okay.
We're no strangers to love.
Oh, no.
You know the rules, and so do I. A full commitment's what I'm thinking of. You wouldn't get this from any other guy. I just want to tell you how I'm feeling. Understand, never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down, never gonna run around and desert you, never gonna make you cry, never gonna say goodbye, never gonna tell a lie and hurt you. Dun-dun-dun-dun.
Oh, yay. That's what everyone wanted.
We were almost in sync with our dancing. It was
Oh, good Lord.
oh my goodness. Oh wow.
Good thing that was at the end because everyone would just be like, "Oh, we're gone."
Well, and I said in the personal chat, should I mute him? And I did for a minute there. Well,
Did you mute me? There you.
Just for a minute.
Yeah.
Tony should do the song as Rick Sanchez. We've known each other for so long. Your heart's been aching, but you're too shy to say it, Morty. Inside, we both know it's been going on. There you go.
But anyway, all right. So coming up on my channel, I am debating. I probably am going to do a video on Cobra Kai season 6 part 2. So I don't know if you guys have had a chance to see Cobra Kai season 6 part 2. Anybody else on this? So look for a review on that probably later on this week. And I'm thinking about maybe doing a video about the Tyson fight. There are a couple of things about that were awkward and weird. And there's a lot of rumors going around that it was fixed, which I would not be surprised. But we'll see. Also, if you guys have a suggestion on a movie or something else you want me to cover, don't forget to leave me a message. Tony and I did Legend, and that came out on Friday, so be sure to check that one out if you like Legend. It's another great movie. And I'll plug Pop Culture Breakdown with Doomcock. We should be on for Wednesday, and we're covering a great Western movie. You guys know it? Have you seen it? You know which one? I knew
about that high noon.
my God.
Well, John Wayne wasn't in High Noon Pilgrim.
I'm well aware that was the joke. I got commie pinkos to the left of me, cattle rustling bandits to the right. I'm stuck in the middle with you, Pilgrim.
Uh-huh.
Commie pinkos.
Wait, Tyson showed his bare
It's the
butt?
other way, pinko commies.
Apparently on the way out, I don't know. I have no idea what it was on the way out, but apparently he did. But yep, I have no idea. Yeah. I kind of cut the stream after that awful fight. It was terrible.
Awful.
But yeah, there's a point in the first round where Tyson, okay, just to give you guys an idea. So Mike Tyson is known for, first of all, what made him a great fighter was that he had quick hands and he had good technique, especially with his feet. And in boxing, your feet are a lot more than people realize because you have to have good footwork to get in there and get inside on somebody, especially if you're a little bit shorter and stockier like Mike Tyson was. And his signature move for a lot of his knockouts was to jab with the right and then you come right across with the left hook. And he knocked out so many people doing that. Well, in one of the first rounds, he hits Jake Paul right in the face with his right, but he never comes up and follows up with the left hook at all. And I saw this footage on Twitter about that, and I commented that, wait a minute, why didn't he follow up with his left hook? He was right there. I have a feeling that if he would have followed up with his left hook, Jake Paul might have hit the canvas. But
Well, they're probably like, you got to go a certain number of rounds to get money, right? They want it like, to me,
I think
it's
so.
surprising if like in the background they just were like, do an exhibition. Either one of us want to get our ass kicked. Mike's old,
You know,
other guy's not.
I know what happened with the fight, guys. I was first to know what happened behind the scenes. See, there was a meetup where Mr. Tyson met up with a particular king of LA known as a Mr. Marcellus Wallace. And, he had that speech given to him, at the beginning of the fight, you might feel a slight sting. That's pride with you.
Yeah. But it was a boring fight.
Paid off. He was paid off.
Yeah.
He was paid off by Marcellus Wallace. Gentlemen.
What's up, Agent Pepsi One? What would you want to say?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, look, y'all, I mean, I'm not into these fighting. I am not. But you have one guy who was like, what, 26 or 27?
27 and
27. And the other one, he's what,
Almost.
59?
Almost
60?
Yeah.
Are you insane? Are you simply insane?
Oh,
What do you
and
think?
Tyson had a blood transfusion like in June.
Yeah, but think about this. You have a man at his peak physical condition, and you have a guy nearing retirement. I mean, what do you think is going to happen? I mean, it does not take Nostradamus.
Nope.
Yeah.
Tyson is lucky. He is really lucky because it could have gone a lot worse for him. It could have gone a lot.
I mean, I
a lot
know.
worse. I mean, it is. I mean, you just don't do this. I mean, if these two had been fighting out in in a parking lot someplace.
Wow, now we're getting Pepsi wanted the street brawl.
Brawl, street brawl,
No,
cage
but-
match.
but-
Yeah.
I mean, think about this. Think about this. The younger guy would have been charged with assault on an elderly.
That's true.
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, it's stupid. I mean, who would? Okay. I mean, folks, I'm sorry if you paid for this. If you paid for this, you got exactly what you paid for.
Well, it wasn't on pay-per-view. It's on Netflix.
It was on Netflix, so I mean,
Yeah, but it would look like it was.
right? Yeah.
It was on Netflix, but it actually looked like it was on the NES.
Yeah, I
the
heard it was
pixelated.
horrible and like a lot of spooling, like the quality was terrible.
Yeah, it pixeled a little bit when I first put it on Netflix, but fortunately I put it on while one of the other fights was going on, so mine cleared up on my iPad. But also, I mean, when it's being filmed 20 minutes south of me, I may have had a better signal. Who knows? But so.
Yeah,
I just
it's
don't
just
know if some of these are like prepared like Prime and Netflix to handle all that bandwidth for live sports. Like,
I don't think they bit more than they could chew, more than their servers can handle.
yeah,
Mhm.
because they don't get that many people all at once on the same thing usually.
Yeah.
Sean Carter in the chat says, Jarvis, bite this sucker's ear off. Iron Man, Mike Tyson. Yes.
Iron Man, Mike Tyson. But
Well,
anyway,
I mean, at that age, it's like you can, even if you're in great physical condition, they're still aging. So he's not going to fight like he did in his prime.
no
But
way.
it's a testament to Mike
Exactly.
that he didn't get knocked down. There was no knockdowns that entire fight. You would think there would have at least been a knockdown, but there wasn't.
It wasn't
You
even close. Like the first two rounds when Tyson got closed, Jake
Mhm.
Paul would just hug him. And it was just like, okay, can you stop and just fight? And then the rest of it was like Jake Paul stayed away from him and jabbing. It was so boring.
Yeah, it was a very boring fight.
Well, one is too old and one doesn't have the skill. So it's going to be not a great
One of
match.
them,
I mean, I didn't
one of
watch
them's a
it, but
YouTuber. Remember, boxers are better than YouTubers until the other night, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, do you think that the younger guy? Do you actually think that he wanted to go all out on this old man?
Well, and
I
it
mean,
was his dad's hero. I guess. I don't.
Yeah, I mean that's something that's
Imagine the kind of target you would paint on your back if you did that to Mike Tyson. You would be going down the street and people would be giving you the eye or worse.
Mhm.
Well, I mean,
Mike Tyson earned his career and did it through skill. He invented a version of modern outboxing not seen before then with his footwork.
Okay. What I'm saying though, this was Mike Tyson 35 years ago.
No,
This is
Mike
not
Tyson
Mike Tyson
lost
today.
but I don't know. Who knows? There's rumors that there was a set that it was staged, but I don't know.
I mean, you're not understanding what I'm saying. I'm saying that it's a psychological, something that's psychological that you don't, that if you're younger, that you don't attack the elders as hard as you could.
yeah, but Mike Tyson is like a freakish human.
Yeah,
He's not like a normal elder. The guy's like freakishly strong, and
I mean, he is, but nonetheless,
he's like, we like to call that the George Foreman phenomenon, where it doesn't matter how old you are, you're just built to be a fighter.
Yeah,
Wes
but look what happened to George
says
Foreman.
Wes Cagle says he heard Jake Paul was so full of confidence that right after the fight, he challenged Conor McGregor to a match.
Yeah, he did. Well, the other thing is he probably didn't want anything spilled on his shorts.
Yeah.
He had like diamond-plated shorts.
Well, McGregor's all about getting more cash, even though he couldn't, couldn't box to save his life. But he'll do anything for $1. So
yeah,
well, good Lord.
And he has his own whiskey. So
yeah, kudos to him for
all
that.
right, folks. Well, unless we got anything else, I think it's time to end the stream. I know Sean Carter's got his show on his channel.
I'm going to grab the link for that right quick for the chat. Let me grab the link right quick.
Branded here. And guys, go to Sean Carter's channel. He does some fantastic model work. It's amazing. The other thing about that is, Heather, Tony might accidentally slip out some codes that we might be able to get from his models and his other works. So, Wes Cagle.
Yeah.
There, I sent the link to Sean's stream in the back there.
On the back,
right here.
Yeah, because I'm not a wrencher or nothing. I can't do that. See.
There you go.
All right.
Cool. So go to Sean Carter's channel. Sean is a fantastic guy. He makes amazing models. He's also on Pop Culture Breakdown on Wednesday night at 7:00 on Doomcock's channel. So And I'm sure we will discuss the fight and probably Cobra Kai on that channel as well. So,
Cool.
all right, folks. Well, hey, thank you so much, audience, for joining us. Also, hey, I keep these up. So if you want to listen to this anytime or share it with friends that might like talking about music from the 80s, feel free to share and like the stream. And we'll see you on the next one.
Clip my Rickroll before YouTube demands he mute it.
Send it to all your